48 hours later, Virginians still don't know who their Attorney General will be.
The Rockbridge Report wraps up Election Day 2013. We'll show you the winners and how many of your neighbors turn out to vote.
A super typhoon is bearing down on the Philippines. We'll have the latest forecast for the islands and Rockbridge County next. Hello and welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Olivia Hampton.
And I'm Athena Tao.
2 days after the election, the Attorney General's race is still virtually a tie. 2.2 million Virginians cast their votes. Republican Mark Obenshain has a lead of fewer than 700 votes over Democrat Mark Herring. Herring is expected to call for a recount. The results won't be decided officially until December. Democrats Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam won the governor's and lieutenant governor's offices. Washington and Lee professor Mark Seaman says if the Republicans lose the Attorney General's race, they could change their campaign tactics.
In fact, Democratic sweep, that may cause some degree of reevaluation within the Republican Party about what attributes they're looking for in a candidate.
It was smooth sailing for candidates in Buena Vista on Tuesday. Frank Diaz has the story.
Mayor Frankie Hogan, Commonwealth's Attorney Christopher Russell, Sheriff Randy Hamilton, and incumbent Ben Cline in the House of Delegates all shared the same luck this election season in Buena Vista. They ran unopposed. Cline says he's not sure why there were uncontested races, but he still sees something positive about it.
I hope it speaks to a general level of satisfaction with the job that the elected officials are doing. Buena Vista has a great group of leaders, and they do a great job there, and that may be part of it, why so many are running unopposed.
Arlene Garrett, General Registrar for Buena Vista, wouldn't comment on camera, but she says it's obvious why some offices were uncontested. Everyone is satisfied with the people who are already there. I personally would like having a choice, but what can you do? In fact, Garrett says Buena Vista changed its elections from the spring to the fall in 2012 in hopes of getting more voters to register. Cline's 24th legislative district includes Lexington, Buena Vista, and all of Rockbridge County. In the 2009 general election, Democrat Jeffrey Price ran unsuccessfully against Cline. This time, 58 voters in Buena Vista and nearly a total of 1,400 in his district wrote in candidates rather than vote for Cline. Cline says write-ins are something expected in an unopposed election.
Well, I've been opposed more than I've been unopposed, but when I'm unopposed, there's always a write-in effort, and I would expect that people who would like an alternative would write somebody else in.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Frank Diaz.
One of the popular write-ins in the 24th district was the last election's contender, Jeffrey Price.
Official voting statistics are not out yet, but local registrars say Tuesday's turnout was less than 40% in Buena Vista, Lexington, and Rockbridge County. Reporter Neil Haggerty has more.
In the last gubernatorial election, voter turnout in Virginia was just over 40%. This time, voter turnout in Buena Vista, Lexington, and Rockbridge County fell below that mark according to local registrars. Buena Vista voter Joe Howes said both gubernatorial candidates Ken Cuccinelli and Terry McAuliffe turned him off.
Cuccinelli and McAuliffe ran a lousy campaign, backbiting, slamming, nothing about issues or what they want to do or can do or should do.
But election volunteer Debbie Garrett of Buena Vista said she was happy to see people coming out to the polls.
Of course, we always wish that there would be more folks who are out to express their thoughts by voting for their candidates of choice. But so far the turnout has been nice and steady. We've had a chance to visit and talk with a number of folks on their views.
Lexington's Chief Elections Officer Susan Milo told our reporter Krista Huber that she thinks local voters still cared about who they elected.
I think people really care about who they elect to these statewide offices and to their local offices.
So you would say in Virginia then that even though it is an off-year election, it's not turning people away from coming to the polls?
Not at all. Not at all. We've had very good turnout.
And the people who came out to the polls in Lexington agreed with Milo.
The whole country's falling apart. I wouldn't ever miss a vote.
For the governor and the lieutenant governor and attorney general, and those are very important positions, and they matter for the future of the state and the future of the country.
Oh, it's our right. You know, we have come this far, and not to, you know, exercise our right is shameful.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Neil Haggerty.
Local registers say official voters' turnout could be available as early as Friday. Electoral maps show that most of the Commonwealth is solidly Republican, or red, but Democrats in blue have managed to win the governor's mansion 3 times in the last 6 elections. Each time they did it by carrying heavily populated tidewater in Northern Virginia and Charlottesville. The growing populations of those areas have become more reliably Democratic in statewide elections. That is change in Virginia from a red to a swing state.
Rockbridge reporters caught up with several winners of Tuesday night's election. Ruby Clark won the Glasgow mayor's race.
Well, my time in office, I've got a lot of learning to do myself since I've never done this. I've only seen what the town mayor actually does. But
Rusty Ford won a seat in the Board of Supervisors representing Carrs Creek.
And we have an awful lot of things that we are in the middle of working on that we need to finish up for the county's good that I think we can do in the next 2 years.
Kevin Brooks was also victorious in Tuesday's election. He will be representing the South River District on the school board. Brooks said his biggest goal is developing a long-range, comprehensive educational plan.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is savoring his landslide re-election victory, while pundits and politicians are arguing about what his election means for 2016. CNN's Deborah Farrick reports.
Of all the races in all the states, there was arguably only one that had political pundits pondering the viability of one possible presidential nominee.
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, a leading 2016 Republican contender, despite his repeated denials that he's even in the race.
Everybody's talking about you running for president. The question is, how do you keep that from becoming a major distraction over the next couple of years?
Yeah, I don't get distracted very easily. It takes a lot to distract me, and I think the way it won't be a distraction is that I just simply won't let it.
Yet coming off his landslide victory in which he won a majority of votes among women, Latinos, Republicans, conservatives, and Tea Party voters, the now seasoned governor certainly sounded like a man looking to the future.
I think every day that you do a job like this one makes you a better executive. Whether that would apply to me being a better president or not, I just don't know.
Sir, good luck.
Christie's broad appeal earned him praise from outgoing New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, an independent.
The lesson for this whole country, whether it was Christie or McAuliffe, both of them were centralists. They could work across the aisle.
But not everyone is ready to embrace him as the face of the GOP. Tea Party favorite Rand Paul seemed to take a swipe at him for spending federal dollars on these Superstorm Sandy ads.
We're stronger than the storm and open for everyone.
People running for office put their mug all over these ads while they're in the middle of a political campaign. That's just offensive.
As if to get ahead of other possible Republican competitors like Senator Marco Rubio, Christie made sure to emphasize his victory in Rubio's crucial voting bloc.
We won the Latino vote last night. Now find another Republican in America who's won the Latino vote recently.
Rubio congratulating his fellow Republican, but making clear New Jersey is not the nation.
We need to understand that some of these races don't apply to future races. Every race is different, it has a different set of factors.
Deborah Farrick, CNN, New York.
Coming up, we'll tell you what kind of weather you can expect this weekend.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right seat to make sure your child is protected.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? You want one? The forest,
yeah,
of course.
10,
this
10,
is where we,
9,
along with the beautiful
8,
forest
7,
creatures,
6,
make our home with
5,
beautiful plant
4,
life,
3,
clean water,
2,
and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The Philippines is bracing for a super typhoon. CNN's Andrew Stevens reports from the coastline.
The people of the central Philippines are battening down and waiting and watching for the biggest storm system on the planet this year to come ashore here in the central Philippines. Just behind me here, the tide has already started to rise, just reaching the grassy areas now at the place I'm standing at. Veteran CNN storm watcher James Reynolds says this is the most powerful system that he has ever seen. We're expecting gusts of up to 300 kilometers an hour. That's almost 200 miles an hour, plus a big storm surge and heavy rain. Authorities have been taking measures to get people to safer ground, not only the low-lying coastal areas, but also in the hills where there is a danger of landslides. The President of the Philippines, in a very unusual address to the nation, said that his government was on standby, ready to do what was needed to help the people when this storm hits. So far, about 4,000 people have been evacuated, but many more are being left here to weather the storm in their own way. They're also very mindful of the fact that in the last 2 years, 2 big storm systems through here have claimed the lives of hundreds of people. Andrew Stevens in the central Philippines.
Hopefully our forecast looks a little better in Rockbridge County. And although we won't be able to see her today, Margaret Volsky has our local weather. What can we expect this weekend, Margaret?
Good afternoon, Olivia and Athena. Great to see y'all today. We had some colder temperatures this morning. We woke up to about a 28-degree low, but it's heated up a bit since to 61 degrees, which is a lot lower than the record high set in 1965, although we are a lot warmer than our record low of 21 degrees set in 1998. Let's see how the rest of the region fared. Temperatures around the region were pretty consistent, although Charlottesville and Lynchburg were a bit warmer than Lexington at 63 degrees. Lexington and BV were both around the high 50s. Let's check out our 5-day forecast and see what we can expect for the rest of the week. We have our highest temperatures coming in on Sunday at 63 degrees and our lowest coming in on Tuesday at 27 degrees. However, we can expect pretty consistent highs in the 50s throughout the next week. Let's check our radar and see what we can expect for the rest of today. As you can see, we have a beautiful radar forecast for the rest of this evening. No rain is forecasted at all, and temperatures should be mild going into the rest of your night. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Margaret. Coming up, we'll look at local sports and give you the buzz on Twitter's latest move.
So what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're doing fine.
What did that just do?
Select the drop-down menu again. Wait. You're already enrolled.
Oh, example here. So
Don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. Submit. There it is.
Oh my.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000.
9, 8,
You'll
7,
face major
6,
legal fees,
5,
major fines,
4, 3,
and steep insurance penalties.
10, 9, 8.
You could
7,
lose
6,
everything.
5,
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at what we have going on in sports in the local area coming up. Bella, what do our local teams have on their schedules?
The 2-7 Rockbridge County High School Wildcats are playing the 8-1 Northside High School Vikings at home this Saturday. There are 3 upcoming football games this Saturday. The 5-3 W&L Generals are going to play at Hamden City. Hamden City is 6-2. The VMI Keydets are playing the 5-4 Gardner-Webb University Bulldogs in Lexington. And Buena Vista 6-2 Southern Virginia University is playing 4-4 Alfred State. Washington and Lee women's soccer team will advance to the ODAC title match after beating Bridgewater 3-0 on Tuesday. W&L hasn't made it to the ODAC championship match since 2009. The Generals play again on Saturday for the championship game. That's all in sports.
Thanks, Bella. Twitter recently followed in Facebook's steps and went public. Twitter stock opened at 73% above its initial price. Despite this high price, Twitter has never turned a profit during its 7 years of existence. The company has begun investing in more data centers and hiring a greater number of employees.
That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you check us out on the web.
Have a great night.